Have you ever sat across from someone watching their smile linger a bit too long? Their laughter just not reaching their eyes? Maybe you've wondered, am I imagining things? Or is there something underneath this surface? What if the people closest to us aren't always as safe as we want to believe? Today, we'll explore 8 surprisingly subtle signs that someone in your life may be quietly wishing you harm, even as they pretend to be your friend. We'll walk this path together. By the end of our time, your relationships may appear in a completely new light. And trust me, the last sign, that's the one most people overlook, yet it's often the clearest sign of all. Here's the truth. All of us wear masks. Carl Jung called the hidden side of ourselves the shadow, not evil, just unseen and unacknowledged. Sometimes other people's shadows slip into our lives through envy, quiet contempt, or resentment that's easier to hide than to heal. Those emotions rarely storm in through the front door. Instead, they drip quietly into our everyday lives, in subtle behaviors and offhand comments that leave you questioning your own reality. Maybe you found yourself feeling smaller, confused, or oddly unwelcome even when surrounded by people who should be lifting you up. That uncertainty, that ache, it means you're awake. Today, let's map out 8 subtle signals these hidden forces use. As we walk this journey together, I invite you to listen deeply to yourself. You're not alone. These trails are more common than you think. 1. Disguised contempt, when jokes cut too deep. Let's begin our journey with the first sign, disguised contempt. Have you ever shared a piece of yourself, an idea, a hope, maybe even something you were proud of, only for someone to shoot it down with a joke that draws laughter at your expense? They might say, "Relax, I'm just having fun." But that fun always seems to carve straight into what matters most to you. Sometimes it's the playful jab about your ambitions. Other times it's a running gag about your so-called flaws. I remember someone in my own circle who'd always tease me about taking things too seriously. At first I told myself they meant no harm. Eventually I realized their jokes always landed when I was most vulnerable. Jung wrote that we often project onto others the things we can't accept in ourselves. So, if a friend's humor makes you shrink or second-guess your worth, pay attention. That's your inner compass nudging you. You have every right to ask, could we keep things light? Notice if they listen, or if they try to make you feel too sensitive. Their response is likely more honest than the joke ever was. 2. Subtle sabotage. The disappearing act. The second sign flows just as quietly. Subtle sabotage. Have you ever noticed a friend or acquaintance who always forgets to share crucial details, or who gives you advice that seems to miss the mark just when you need clarity most? Maybe it's the accidentally left out information before an important meeting, or the gentle mistake that complicates your plans at the last minute. When I started my first job, there was someone who explained every task, except for one missing step. At first, I blamed myself for missing something obvious. Looking back, I see it was a pattern. She left out that step for everyone she saw as competition. Subtle sabotage often comes from people who fear being left behind. If you realize that little accidents consistently hold you back, especially when you're about to make a breakthrough, pause and reflect. Does this feel like support or something else entirely? 3. Silent competition. The spotlight tug of war. Our third sign is silent competition, a quiet rivalry that turns every interaction into a scorecard. Imagine you're sharing something joyful, maybe a promotion or a creative victory, and suddenly the spotlight shifts. The person you hoped would celebrate with you turns the story back to themselves, their achievements, their bigger wins, their endless comparison. Little by little, your moments of joy are overshadowed, and conversations start to feel less like warmth, more like a hidden race. I once shared the thrill of completing my first marathon, years of effort distilled into a single morning. The reply? "That's nice. I ran farther than that last summer, but it wasn't a big deal." No encouragement, just the spotlight snapping away. The need to one-up isn't always obvious, but with time, it gnaws at your self-esteem. If you notice your shine always gets dimmed around someone, trust that feeling. Your light isn't meant to be muted. 4. Surface-level support, the hollow cheerleader. Now let's talk about the fourth sign. Surface-level support. It's easy to believe someone is on your side when they say all the right things. But dig a little deeper. Are they there when you truly need them? Real support feels warm and present. Hollow support, on the other hand, feels like an automated response. That's great when you've just poured out your heart, or a quick subject change when things get real. I remember confiding in someone after a tough day, seeking comfort, only to receive a distant "you'll get over it" followed by silence. That's not emotional laziness, it's emotional distance. It's a sign that this person is unwilling or unable to engage with your authentic self. Notice if you stop opening up because the responses feel cold or awkwardly upbeat. The best allies don't just cheer, they show up no matter what. 5. Manipulative care, strings attached. The fifth sign arrives disguised as care. Not all guidance is healthy. Some people offer support with invisible strings attached, insisting they know what's best for you while questioning your every decision. Maybe you've heard "I just worry about you" countless times, but it leaves you feeling less confident, not more. Their suggestions come wrapped in conditions, or maybe even the silent threat of withdrawing affection. I once had a mentor whose help always ended with, "If you don't listen, I won't be here to pick up the pieces." That's not care, that's control. True care empowers. If someone's advice leaves you feeling smaller, not stronger, or makes you question your own instincts, that's your signal. You are allowed to walk your path, even if it means making your own mistakes. And if this journey of learning to trust your instincts speaks to you, if any of these signs have echoed in your experience, consider joining our community by subscribing and turning on notifications. Together, we'll keep exploring how to build relationships that let us grow and become more ourselves, not less. Zadik, gossip and rumors, the Whisper Network. Let's walk to our sixth sign, gossip and rumors. Not everyone who wishes you harm will confront you to your face. Some whisper from the shadows. Maybe you start to notice people pulling away, behaving colder for reasons you can't name. A friend spreads little updates, subtle criticisms, stories twisted just enough to cast doubt or distance. I've seen friendships destroyed not by loud arguments, but by these quiet currents of suspicion. The pain can be especially sharp if you realize the harmless gossip changed how others see you. Jung said, "What you resist persists." When someone is unhappy in their own skin, they often seek comfort by painting someone else as the villain. If this resonates, anchor yourself in your values. You decide who you are, not those who whisper. 7. Refusal to celebrate you, the stone wall. Seventh comes a sign that hurts, the refusal to celebrate you. A genuine friend is a mirror for your joy. They reflect it, amplify it, maybe even inspire you to reach higher. But sometimes you announce a dream come true, a promotion, an engagement, a breakthrough, and all you get is a blank stare, a clipped cool, or that subtle shift to someone else's story. Maybe your news is dismissed or even quietly undermined. "Well, that's not so special," or "Did you hear what Mary accomplished?" These moments can sting, especially when you needed confirmation that you're allowed to be happy. You deserve people who cheer for you without reservation. If someone freezes your joy, let that stone wall be all the information you need. 8. Body language betrayal, the unspoken truth. Now, the last, often most revealing, sign, body language betrayal. Words can be sculpted and rehearsed, but bodies tell the truth. Have you ever noticed a friend's eyes dart away when you enter the room, or felt a sudden stiffness during what should be a happy moment? Maybe their face stretches into a smile, but their arms fold tight. Their posture closes and their joy just doesn't feel real. I remember a group where laughter would flow until a certain person arrived. The conversation, the very mood would tighten. My instincts whispered, "It's not about you, but it is." Turns out one member had been quietly resentful, leaking discomfort through every glance and gesture. Jung taught, the body is the unconscious speaking out loud. If your body aches or tenses up around someone, if your own laughter grows quiet, Trust that feeling. It knows before the mind does. Let's step back and connect these signs. Every relationship in your life is a crossroad. It might feel fuzzy at first, hard to decipher. Sometimes you wonder if it's you. But your intuition is always on your side. It speaks in whispers, discomfort, unease, the repeated sense that your spirit is being drained, not filled. All those subtle signs, they're not accusations. They're invitations. Invitations to clearer boundaries, deeper self-respect, and a truer community. You deserve to walk beside people who help you remember your worth. The map is within, your inner compass waiting. Those are the 8 signs. But what about your journey? Have you felt any of these patterns play out in your life? Maybe, as you listened, a particular face or memory stood out. I'd love for you to share in your own words, in the comments. Your story, your reflection, might be the gentle light someone else needs today. If this path resonated, make sure you're subscribed so we can keep walking this journey together. And stay tuned, because the next video appearing on your screen will help you continue this journey toward greater clarity, healing, and self-trust. Thank you for walking this path with me. Our journey toward understanding and wholeness isn't ending. It's just beginning. I'll see you in the next chapter.